What's up, cyberspace cadets? It's IRATE Prostate here for another wonderful edition of Chaos 120. In the studio with me tonight are the lovely TerraSynn. That's right. And the next 6 minutes.
I am here and I am awesome. Thank you very much.
Why don't you guys shill your stuff? Ladies first, as usual.
I'm TerraSynn. You can find me on pretty much any social network. If you find me on IMVU, that's IMVU, send me a message before you send me a friend request because I will not accept it. Or before you send me a chat request. Make sure it says that you saw me on Chaos 120. I have an Etsy store, Terra and Roxy Craft. This month we should be able to afford to put up the purses. I have a Patreon, a maker support. Give me your money. And I'm trying to get an interview with not only Scribe Light, but also with the cast of Ghost Adventures. So hopefully I can hear from them sometime soon.
Cool. Sounds exciting. Six.
I'm doing pretty well. I am, of course, the next 6 minutes. You can find me on the next 6 minutes channel. That is 6 with the word spelled out. And I'm also on the next live streams channel. That's the one that you usually hear me from my live streams. So that's what's going on right now. What else is going on is that this Friday, depending on what my schedule looks like, I've gotten some news on the job front. Tomorrow I go in for my little tinkle test to prove that I'm not a doper. So
you don't do the marijuanas.
That I don't do the marijuanas or the cocaines or the
peyotes
or the ludsquay, Anyhow, that's I'm going in for my little tinkle test tomorrow, and Friday
you shoot up the marijuanas.
I shoot up the crazy stuff, the exotic stuff. Anyhow, Friday, sometime Friday, this I'll be now announcing tomorrow because I'll have a better idea of what's going to be going on. I am going to be interviewing Cas WarFox on
Yif motherfuckers.
Yif motherfuckers on the Chaos 120 group channel. Let me yank that URL out of the internets and put it into the chat so everybody can know where to go to listen to. It'll be a short half-hour chat with a good old Cas WarFox. It'll be an interview of him, just me and him shooting the breeze and finding out all about the crazy yiffing furry from California.
The flaming California.
That's right.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'll only be here for half the stream because I got invited to the Minions.
Awesome. Say hello to Poppy. Say hello to Reject. Say hello to. Is going to be on whose nights is it going to be on?
It's Skeptox night.
Skeptox night. Give that man some love for me, man.
Yeah.
I will.
He is. I believe he's a fellow Texan.
I think he is too, and yeah, he sent me the invite while I was picking on Scooby in the Lords of the Night chat.
Awesome. What night will this be on, Tara?
Tonight.
Okay. So as soon as this Chaos 120 wraps up, jump on over to the Minions and watch this young lady, and have an awesome time.
Killer. All right, and of course, everybody knows that you found my channel because you're watching this right now. I'm IRATE Prostate. Tomorrow afternoon, Big Fat and Brian and I are going to be doing Hot Takes Netflix original series, and tomorrow we'll be talking about Godless, a series that's it's not sci-fi or horror. It's a Western, though, and you might be surprised because I hate Westerns. So that'll be worth checking out, just for the fun.
So do I, but I found a couple that I actually like.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, going to say how I feel now. I'm going to, yeah, it's a 7-part miniseries. So we're gonna be talking about that tomorrow, and tomorrow night I've been invited to on Tom Pinoy's stream. So I'm going to be doing that with them. And, of course, Friday night, the Cream stream with AC Sparky, the one and only. And then Saturday, of course, with Sir Adamantine and Drinks with Friends. So that's what we got going tonight. So we're chilled out. And so I've been told to pick up my gain a wee bit.
If you want to watch Sir Adamantine drunkenly pick on Tennessee Marine, tune in.
Or if you want to hear him freak out over me wanting to make a wig out of his hair, tell him to get into the chat.
Oh, is he in our chat?
I don't know. I can't see it. I'm in traffic.
Am I saying this right? Azarulia Claremont. I'd say, hey, I was sure earlier. She was in the monkey chat, and I stopped by there to say hey to everybody. Hey, and hey to the dark malevolent writer, Death Hyrukin. And have I missed anybody?
Hiya, Death Baby.
That's right.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, there's Uzi.
That's right. Oh, and the one and only Uzi.
Hi,
Q.
Uzi.
Or in my case, I like to call her Floozy Q. But when she's sleepy, she's a snoozy Q. That's right. So I can keep these things going all night long.
My kitty cat says hello.
Hey, kitty cat. Meow. What's up?
She always gets excited when she hears everybody talking.
Yeah, so I had texted 6 earlier tonight, or this really was this afternoon. I don't know, fuck. I don't. The sun was out. I'll put it that way. About we were notified that Bering's channel has been taken completely down, and the reason for the takedown is very, very vague. I think I've got a let's see if I can.
You got a screeny?
Yeah, I'll try to see what I can get up.
Well, I have it up right now if you want me to read it.
Oh, yeah, please do. Please read it, man,
okay.
Because I love these motherfuckers.
So if you go to the Bering channel right now, all you're going to be greeted with is one of those little circle icons with a little blue guy in it. And also this annoying long red bar that runs from one side of the screen to the other. And what it says in this bar is something very muddy. It says, this account has been terminated due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy against spam, deceptive practices, and misleading content or other terms of service violations. So take that how you will.
That's just crazy. That's just
so
crazy. And
so he could be guilty of either spam, deceptive practices, misleading conduct, or, get this, other terms of service violations which they do not specify. So he could be guilty of jaywalking in front of I guess a YouTube annex. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming there as far as what could be the matter here.
Oh man, yeah, and the usual suspect came to my mind immediately. I don't know how many this is for that channel.
Oh, the Dr. Christy Winters, or as most people like to refer to as Fisty Splinters.
The evil Dr. Winters.
Or one of her little cronies, Tim Demotivator, or Music Man Mike, or the Eternal Potato. One of those guys, or one of her little cadre.
I mean,
it could have been the Shives. It could have been the Shives.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I've been, I pretty much, I subbed to his content, so I've been seeing what's coming out. He hadn't fucking mentioned her in forever. I mean,
I know,
and so if it definitely is her, this proves how obsessed and petty you are. And I think that you have a mental illness. I truly, honestly believe that shit. And even though you're in another country, actually another continent, if I were Bering and Sugar Tits, I would file a restraining order immediately. I mean, that's just some fucking crazy shit.
This is harassment,
right?
And
of
this
course,
woman,
you got plausible deniability there. So,
yeah, if it is her, this woman needs to be in a rubber room.
She'll gloat. You watch. Whoever did it will gloat. And,
those beady little eyes of hers, she'll gloat.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
So this really sucks because hey, this is some pretty spectacular power that they're wielding this hammer of ban on people.
Well, and from my perspective, what really sucks is that I've like, with this cream stream thing that I've been doing since September, I've had a lot of people with no kind of content following, be total dicks to me, turn me down to come on the show or anything, or just at the last minute just say, oh, I'm not coming, tough shit. And it's really strange, because I had talked to him through DMs one day, and I said, man, how about you come on? He goes, I'll be there. And on that Wednesday, I said, you're sure you're gonna make it and everything? And he said, don't worry. And sure enough, he showed up on time. He was fantastic. It was a fun 2 hours, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy to me. And I know that's a personal anecdote. But I think it says volumes about the guy, as in his relationship to other YouTubers. So
yeah, I haven't streamed with him personally, but I have streamed with a lot of people who have streamed with him, and all they have ever said is that this guy is a really nice guy. He's a really good guy.
He's groovy.
And it really sucks to see this. And the only reason that anyone would want to target him is because he's telling the truth. They say that if you if you don't have somebody vehemently disagreeing with you to the point that they become your quote unquote enemy, you're probably not saying anything worthwhile. Given that Bering has so many people quote unquote targeting him, and certainly someone like Christy Winters, who appears to be rather obsessed with Bering, I think he's doing something right. I think he's doing something worthwhile. And hey, any one of us could be targeted for any reason. And it's those that choose to say something substantial are the ones that are typically targeted for having their channels yanked down. Unless, of course, you're one of these people that likes to post up copyrighted material and try to claim it's yours. Aside from that. So let's see. Right before I jumped on here, I was watching Scooby on Lords of the Night, and one of the last things that I did was that I kind of plugged your show there IRATE. I said I was jumping on to Chaos 120 and I would see Scooby later, and then I wrote, of course, hashtag free Scooby again, because even the little guys can feel the sting of the ban hammer. Right now, Scooby's Twitter account is on the lockdown by the goons over at the Twitter machine. So
wasn't that the theme of the Lords of the Night tonight? Was
sort of,
kind of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I noticed the title. Yeah, man. You know, it's amazing how the shit that gets away on Twitter, and then it's like I haven't seen it yet, but my friend Right Wing Sister, she has put out a video saying that she has definitive proof that Twitter, is holding bias against people who voted for Trump for the president, and it's like I do want to see it, because it's this stuff is starting to really pan out to be very interesting as to all of this shit kind of intersects, man. You've got this what we're seeing is the left wing, and this is just my impression and my opinion. Okay, I don't claim to hold anybody else's opinions here, but this is something that I've seen, is that the ideology that used to be known as liberal is now has been abandoned as not enough. Right?
Yeah. Here's the thing about progressive and liberal. These are two words that in the common vernacular have been closely associated with by people who are not just on the left, but are in fact leftists. They co-opted these two words. I want to say around between I want to say World War I and Vietnam. They stole these terminologies and applied them to themselves, when really neither of these two terms really adequately, in fact, they don't really describe those who are using them right now at all. This is why I've taken to really differentiating between leftists and classical liberals, because classical liberals fit more the definition that liberal actually used to mean. Mm-hmm. And liberal was more like more your moderate slash centrists. They were more they were a more less polarized version of what ultimately came after. And certainly the word progressive has come to mean something very different than what it had originally was being used for, and that's why we hear the term regressive. So yeah, I don't really use the word progressive at all. I use the word regressive, and I don't use liberal. I don't use liberal alone at all anymore. I say either leftist or classical liberal, because they're two different animals, two very different animals.
Absolutely.
You will have a reasoned conversation with a classical liberal. You will not have a reasonable conversation with a leftist. 9 times out of 10. Okay, let me be fair. 8 times out of 10. That has been my experience. I don't know. What's it been like for you, man?
I would say, you hit the nail right on the head with that. It's It's an ideology that's gone so extreme. They're like, if you're, you know, it's that whole, if you're not with us, you're against us kind of thing. And it's just starting to, it's just so, it's actually, it's embedded so deeply, and especially with the media and what we're seeing with that, that the news will take something like this whole FBI thing, man, and they'll just try to flip it around and say, well, this is not a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
Which, and you know, I don't know about you, man, but I think this is one of the biggest scandals ever in the history of our country. You know, if the FBI was politicized and weaponized,
yeah,
you know, for political purposes, then
this is huge.
It's pretty goddamn big, and you know, nobody's touching it except for, you know, the usual suspects. You know, who's going to break rank? Who has got the balls to break rank with the regressive, you know, autistic fucktards?
Well, I tell you, man, anybody who does is going to win a lot of respect points from me.
Me too, and they'll have my business.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, because hey, you know, we could spend all our time and money listening to yahoos, you know, stand upon their soapbox and give us their biased editorial commentary on shit, or we can hear people that are going to deliver us the actual news, free from their little free from their little filters, their filtration system. Those that do break rank, oh, it's going to be awesome, because hey, we're going to be getting something that is well, it's far and away from the what Styx Hexenhammer likes to refer to as the legacy media.
Legacy. I do love that term because it's perfect for it, because they represent something that's pretty much is dead, and but the journalism, you know, that's the thing that can remain pure, and that's the one thing that's been totally abandoned, is true investigative journalism. These people would rather fucking you know, research shit that they can you know, they can back up, or you know, they can cite from a tweet. You know,
as a digester of news, as an eater of news, I would say, I like it as empirical as possible. I don't like slants. I don't like opinions. I don't like colorations. I don't like spins. And I certainly don't like dishonesty through omission. So it's a breath of fresh air when you encounter a news source that is not completely stuffed up its own ass.
Yeah. Break the ranks. Who's got the balls? That's right. I'm throwing the challenge out there. Yeah. If you're a consumer of news, and you know, challenge people. I think that's the best thing that, you know, we can you know, challenge them by not buying their shit, by not you know, endorsing their rags.
Cast your vote with your dollar.
That's right. It's just it's been I don't know, man. It just keeps getting worse and worse, and it's almost like you know, the three monkeys. You know, look, you know, see no evil, hear no evil, you know, speak no evil.
Well, I tell you, I was listening to Styx this morning, and I was watching this video, and it seems that Hillary Clinton is insistent that what was, I can't remember what it was, one of these, like New York Times or something like that. She was rather insistent that that people, you know, start picking up the print again. It's like, okay, it's print is there, it serves its purpose. It's not nearly as relevant as it used to be. It's certainly a sign of kind of where this woman comes from and her awareness and connection to her to what is becoming the majority of the country, and it's people that certainly are a lot more technology based. So you have people like Hillary Clinton, and she's not alone. She's actually fairly common for politicians, particularly in the Democratic Party, that are severely behind the times, and they see a lot of their control slipping away. You know, we're seeing a lot more and more people being red-pilled every day. It's a bit of a crude terminology, but yeah, it's the best one we have right now, that people are becoming more and more red-pilled every day. And it's certainly with this legacy media, it's easier to keep people blue-pilled when there is that level of control of the news in these mediums, whether that be print, whether that be television, whether that be radio, more traditional forms of news media. It's becoming a little hard for them to stay on top of everything that happens digitally when it comes to the good old internets. So I just thought that was rather entertaining that Hillary Clinton was standing upon her soapbox and calling out to the winds, read the New York Times, buy the paper.
I think G Money in the Bank made a really good point that the FBI, he says the FBI shit's just a continuation of the COINTELPRO, which is, you know, but that was
very good point. Yeah,
that was under Hoover's regime, and I can see, yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying. It's run by the same party.
Yeah,
that did most of it. So. Yeah.
Very same philosophies of control grid, control freakism is, I guess that's, for lack of a better term, control grid, control freakism.
Yeah, it's what the word feckless comes into mind for some reason. I'm not sure if that's the correct application. So
I haven't used that word in such a long time. I forgot what it meant.
Yeah, me too.
Plus,
yeah, I think it. Just being irresponsible or lacking character.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's certainly that there, especially with the DOJ. You know, they talked about when I was watching Tucker Carlson earlier, and they were talking about the January the 5th meeting. That was, of course, it was after the election, and it was Obama. They said Susan Rice and Loretta Lynch and somebody else. It was 4 people, and you know, the guy was saying that, you know, he thought that was what they were doing, was trying to figure out a way to, because they knew that as soon as you know, Trump was elected, that at some point that this shit's going to come out and going to make them all look bad, right? So they were trying to spin it and figure out a way to you know, to make it palatable palatable for, you know, for the dumbass voter that they think they cater to.
Yes, because we're all such children.
Well, exactly. We're idiots, and they need to think, you know, and you know, they need to tell us how to live our lives, because we're fucking morons.
Yeah.
You know,
Ma and Papa Blue Dog gotta step in and mind the children's.
Yeah, I just got a bad taste in my mouth with all this horse shit. You know and what really just chaps my ass is that, you know, nothing's going to get done we were talking last night that it's already an election cycle, man, and in November, it's the midterms, and there's enough Senate seats that are going to be in the balance to where there'll be a veto-proof majority of Republicans. And maybe that's what they're waiting on, really, to do anything, so they can really push their agenda through. And then they'll have their stamp on it. I doubt it. Trump would veto anything. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't have any policies on the top of my head that I could think of that he would veto. I don't even know really what the what
nothing comes to mind.
Right, what the policy wonks are really wanting to get done, party wise, because it's just they're really just focusing on trying to figure out any way they can do to disrupt public opinion, and they're fucking failing miserably at it. It's like I don't know, man. After listening to that bullshit, here's Mundane Matt, or as my friend Sir Adamantine likes to call him, Mundane Fat, was talking. And I dig what the dude, because he was talking about, not being sexually attracted to Blair White because, he says he's, not into plastic surgery, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And what is it, the Naked Ape was talking to him on, I think it was a Ralph Report, the kill stream. I can't remember. I think that's what it's called. And he was just ripping him a new asshole, telling him how full of shit he was, that he couldn't, you want to express this opinion that you've got, in the open. And so I'm going to, I think I need to start doing that more.
It's kind of it's a completely needless statement that even if he does feel that way, it probably better off not expressing.
Well, but I think that's kind of the point that the monkey that he was trying to make, because that for it to take that much for that information to come out, it's just like it's I'm not going to let fucking focus groups dictate my opinion for revenue. I'm not doing this for money, obviously. I mean, shit,
Right.
This I got in at the wrongest time in the world to get into something. It's like it would have been like me going out to California for the gold rush 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, you and me both. We both kind of came to this. We came to this party a little late. So it looks like all the gold laying around on the ground has already been snapped up by others, and certainly the YouTube police are guarding the mines that we can't get the AdSense stuff anymore. So c'est la vie.
Yep. And then there's the Kumite thing. While I was prepping to get for this show, Andy Worski went live with Failure Accomplished, and they were talking about how the Kumite is they're no longer going to be running it on his channel, and they're no longer going to be running it as a daily show, and it's up in the air as to whether or not it's going to come back. And the way that it was presented, check this out, man. The way it was presented contradicts a lot of shit that has been said these past, really the past 3 days, okay? Ever since the Sunday thing. And to be honest, I am a little upset about that too. They always say, it's not the fucking crime as much as it is the cover up or the representation. So it's like, you know, well, if they
what is the cover story?
Well, to make a long story short, I mean, I think they were saying that, you know, they had been trying to make this thing work from the day that there was one day where Tonka couldn't be found, and I couldn't figure out whether it was scripted or not. And you know, it sounded Andy, his voice, I don't know, it didn't sound. There was something really off about it, right? And so, and then, you know, finally Tonka called in late and blah blah blah, and so they had a show. So, but for a little while, it looked like that there wasn't a show, right? And then they moved it to Andy's channel because, you know, Andy's with his with the check mark, you get a Google person that's your personal handler. Like if you and I got a strike or some shit came up on our channels, we get the fucking AI and the luck of the draw, right?
Right.
Whereas he has a person that he can literally call and say, look, this was done here, there, you know, this is, you know, clearly a mistake, you know, I'm losing revenue, and so are y'all, get my fucking channel back, right? And it's their job to you know, not necessarily advocate for him, but at least to get it handled and, you know, have an explanation ready. So
okay, it's
but for... I kind of want to stay out of the drama thing, but it was just like, you know, when I was hearing that preparing, I was like going, hold on now, because that doesn't match what's been said the past couple of days. Because it was presented that was actually a scripted, an entirely scripted event. So either you know, tonight was scripted, and where's the lie? There's got to be a non-truth here somewhere. And it was either tonight or you know, it's been the past couple of nights. I don't know.
Yeah, because when you were first running through this, I kind of got this WWE wrestling storyline kind of aftertaste. And look, if that's the way that they want to roll, fine, that's cool. But you know, unlike wrestling, it just kind of give some indication that you're not taking yourself seriously through this kind of stuff.
Well,
and
yeah, but part of the wrestling shtick is that, you know, is that it's like the magician and his, you know, secrets, right? I get all that shit, and that's really not. I'm not articulating very well what I'm trying to articulate, but I don't know. I have to look at some stuff over again to make sure I heard what I heard correctly, because I don't want to go out, you know, calling people dishonest or anything.
I'm indifferent to the whole internet blood sports kumite kind of stuff. It's just not something that's on my radar. I
found it really entertaining. That, you know, I thought it was something like different. You know,
right.
Than what we
it's
were
kind of
doing.
like the tree, like the internet was like a forest. It's the tree that I walk by every day that I don't really, I know it's there. I know people like to visit this tree. It's just not my thing. And
see Burnside.
It's just
hey everybody.
You know, if there was some genuine kind of drama sort of going on there, at least be a little more upfront about it. But if they want to work with the scripted narrative, that's fine. They can do them. That's
I don't know what was said afterwards, because there was a tweet by somebody, you know, it was Vamp Candy saying that, you know, implying that she got thrown under the bus, and
Oh God, you guys are gossiping about YouTube politics. Here, let me save you guys the time and get a giant lube of acid.
Well, yeah, it's whatever the deal is. It's just it's going to be in the rear view mirror. So, and a lot of it has to do with the doxing shit that happened with Tonka. He did get massively. You know, his family was exposed. His entire.
Why has everyone been doing this nonsense? Are they wanting to get shot in the face by their adversaries in front of their families?
Well, see, you know, that's all the. I don't know, man. It's so goddamn confusing, and it was just like, you know, in Medicare. I mean, I think when he did that thing on Sunday, I think that was the only way you could try to get the truth out or get something, you know, because really what it was just a shit show and a bunch of people yelling at each other,
Like I realize some people can get butthurt over losing an argument.
Shit like this is internet, why I don't watch anybody famous on YouTube, is because they all bitch, whine, complain.
Well, they're not famous. That's the goddamn. I mean, it's fucking YouTube, man. Yeah. You're not famous. Even if you're PewDiePie, man.
Exactly.
PewDiePie can't go up to the fucking president and say, "Hey, I'm PewDiePie." He would say, "Okay, what does that mean?" Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Outside of the YouTube
he's going to tell him he's fired.
And, the youngins. Nobody knows who PewDiePie is. There's 56 million followers.
Yeah, Brad Pitt is on YouTube. Famous.
That's essentially like taking a salt shaker and going up into the upper atmosphere and sprinkling 56 million little grains of salt, and they're gonna be falling all over Earth, and really nobody's gonna know. Because nobody's going to know where those little grains hit,
right?
And so on and so forth. I don't know. I was going some weird place with that analogy. But here's the thing: there's a lot of people that get butthurt over losing arguments on the internet. There's an old meme. One of the oldest memes that I can remember is that even if you win an argument on the internet, you're still retarded. Or like winning. Winning an argument is like winning a gold medal in the Special Olympics. Even if you win it, you're still retarded. It's kind of,
that is a classic.
But some people really take that shit seriously, and they take it personally. So you see these campaigns to dox, and it's bullshit. Because hey, look, you know, go to your respective washroom, wash the salt off you. You know, wash your butthurt away, and get over it.
Well, yeah, and to me, see, there's always been a code on the internet, even you know, from my forum troll days, where you don't dox, you don't go after family, and you don't rat, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's that kind of code.
Snitches get stitches.
Well, yeah, but in the whole doxing thing, man, that's off limits. You know, families getting hurt are off limits.
Right.
You know, if you want to come at me, goddammit, and come at me straight. Right?
Yeah, you don't fuck with people's families.
Right.
I don't care how beta you are. I don't care how big a soy boy you are. I don't care how massive your butthurt is. I don't care if you break chairs when you sit down because your butthurt is so massive. I don't care if you corrode your car because your salt is too salty. Mm. You do not go after people's families. You do not. I don't care who you are. I don't care what medication you should be taking. I don't care how much therapy you should be going through right now. You do not go after people's families.
Well, and here's the fucking kicker, guys. Fucking Kraut is going to sue Medicare so he can get Medicare doxxed. Right? See, when he gets served, when you file a lawsuit against somebody, you have to know their name, and they have to present that, right? The court will compel that shit, right? And that's that. supposedly that's what people were saying in the chat, and people were saying it on, you know, it was just the scuttlebutt that's going around on Twitter, is that, you know, that's the next step, you know, and it's like, oh, come on, people, this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen, man, you know.
Crowton T is he's a piece of work. He's hard to describe. He's somebody that is so self-absorbed, so narcissistic. He makes a lot of SJWs look tame in comparison. And here's a guy that was caught running a doxing Discord that collaterally damaged the reputations of other people that were in that Discord just because they were interested in science. And he and his little cabal of Liz Reptile and Frana, what the fuck? They're running this little doxing cabal. They were. Yeah, most people know about this already, but this is the product of a narcissistic mind.
Well, there's other shit that happened, right? Because there was stuff that was laid out on LawCow. That's part. Well, there's a cow board on 8chan, right? And personal information got out about several different people. And it was all because they call them the anime or the clown crew. They were going around and they were literally grabbing people's. They were opening people's. Like, you know, you'd get in your DMs, you know, you'd get from a mysterious person like a picture of your fucking, you know, your Gmail account open. And you know, it's like, I got your passwords and shit, you know, give me 150, 200, you know, whatever they wanted, you know, or else the information goes, you know, goes out there. And they're going to do it anyway, right? Once they're that far. And
well, so, I'm curious, what basis, what foundation is Crowton T basing this lawsuit against Medicare?
I'm probably going to roll the dice here and say slander.
Slander.
If anything, well, I mean, that's the only one. That's the only civilly. That's the only thing I can think of in a civil sense that you can apply for in what has transpired.
Slander.
You know, the old 3-part thing. I mean, I don't even see that. I don't see him getting very far with this shit at all.
Me either.
But that's where, you know, that's supposedly the next step in this shit. You know. Because people, they don't go after you unless they're scared, I guess. You know, and there's all these fucking internet geniuses out here that are, you know, it's like I don't think they're as smart as they think they are. To be honest, I've met a lot of people, you know, in the YouTube sphere. And,
delusions of grandeur is like syphilis on the internet.
Here's the deal, man. A lot of them claim that they're fucking, you know, intellectually, you know, they've got some type of intellect prowess wise, and I'm not impressed. You know, there's probably 3 people I've met here that I could say are fucking intelligent as hell, that are presenting themselves as, you know, in an academic way. And I'm talking about people that I've met, all right, because there's a lot of intelligent people out there. But, you know, I'm just a dumbass from Alabama, you know, and I kind of like it that way. I've got an opinion, and that's it. You know, I'm not going to go around and tell people that I think I'm smarter than them. Because, you know, it's like I was told by my grandmother, there's always somebody better.
Yeah.
Bingo.
You're no matter. Yeah, there always is going to be a bigger dog in the fight. You just don't walk around with a sign on your back that says, "Hey, I'm really smart." Here's what you do. you do smart things. You behave, you regard people smartly, and people will pick up on your intelligence. You don't go out and proclaim things. You don't shove your credentials in everybody's face at every juncture, like someone say Christy Winters seems to be compelled to do. Mentions that she's a doctor of this or a doctor of that. People who do that, who shove their diplomas into your face, they're douchebags. People that constantly cite, oh well, I have these credentials, or I have those credentials. They're douchebags. People who feel compelled to mention their IQ every time there's a conversation about this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's douchey.
High.
That's douchey. That's douchey.
It is. Totally
People will know you are smart. People will know you are smart by how you treat them, how they see you treat other people, and how you conduct yourself. Your conduct is the greatest litmus for how much intelligence you are working with. People can see this as far beneath you as you think they are. They have sense enough to know when they're dealing with somebody intelligent, or if they're dealing with somebody who's just another smart douchebag. And guess who they're likely to want to actually deal with?
The smart
hint,
douchebag.
Hint,
Right?
hint. It's not the smart douchebag. It's going to be the person.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking on Twitter, and it looks like that Medicare's been, and he has been accused of this a couple of times of being a troll shield for JF Garapé, Jean-Francois. I don't know. I heard somebody was saying something about cognitive thought being a troll shield for Tonkasaw. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't need to be wooed by intellect. I don't need to be blown away, man. If you're smart,
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, here's the thing that and this is true for everybody that I hang out with. I like to hang out with very real, very interesting people, and I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really interesting people, and look, not all of them were geniuses. Some of them, it's the kindest way to put it. I'm a little worried for them, getting home at night. But I don't make it a point to give people shit for not being as smart as the last guy that I hung out with. No, you don't treat people badly because of things like that. If you do, then you're an elitist scumbag that nobody should hang out with, because you don't deserve their company. Treat people well. Don't be an asshole. And if you're going to be an asshole, then don't be an asshole that tries to cover his tracks with excuses. Crown T is an asshole that likes to cover his track with excuses, with justifications,
and here's the deal, man. The only people that I see like having to prove themselves intellectually are people who I'm going to venture and say that they probably weren't able to matriculate successfully in a university setting, or they couldn't afford it. It's like they're overcompensating, you know. It's like the dude that's, you know, fucked 500 women. You know, clearly he hasn't, you know, because he's a dumbass.
Well, here's my example. I'll throw this one out here to for the sake of being self-deprecating. Look, a lot of people regarded me as a really smart guy, and you know that's cool when people say that. I accept a compliment. I don't try to you know to stand up on a hill of false modesty. No, here's the thing. A lot of people regard me as this really smart, really intelligent guy. I didn't graduate from high school. I had to get a GED. And my first day of college was in August of 1995. My last day of college was in December of 2011. You do the math there. And no, I didn't graduate with a doctorate. And that was my bachelor's degree. So, yeah. I judge people slowly. At least I try to. Because, hey, even guys like me, that some people regard as being very intelligent, we're still very flawed. And we still don't make the right call a lot. And that's why it took me 16 years to graduate college. And that's why I never graduated high school. Yeah. So yeah, diplomas on walls don't impress me. It's how people conduct themselves that impresses me.
Right. Well, see, and it's like I was invited to this party that was run by this academic, intellectually based society. They were trying to recruit me to join or some shit. And I went to the party, and they were the most fucking boring blowhards I'd ever met in my fucking life. And I made a decision right there and then that if that was, you know, what academia had in store for me, I did not want to teach.
Right.
Because these were people who were so full of shit and just they were just, you know, unnecessarily assholish. And you know, all because they thought they were smarter than everybody else in the room.
Right. These are typically people who, sorry to say it, they would not survive in the wilderness. These are people who would not I don't just mean wilderness as an apples to apples comparison to the place where bears and cougars and trees and shit live. I'm talking about out in the wild, the real parts of the world. They live comfortably in their little bubbles, their little academic bubbles, where they get to enact they fabricate the structure of their control grids over their students, and feed them a lot of bullshit that really has no real world application, like Marxism, for example, like Frankfurt School critical theory. Nonsense that doesn't work in the real world, because these people, for all intents and purposes, have not existed in the real world. So it's like they treat existence, they treat life like it's a role playing game, and all these made up concepts and made up ideas, with the roll of the dice, they try to apply it to real world situations, and try to indoctrinate these kids with these nonsense ideas but it's difficult to resist because they're, of course, the professor standing in front of the classroom. Kids have paid a lot of money to be where they are, and they're essentially being held captive by a hack with a few letters in front of his name. Professor this, or Doctor this, or whatever. So I grew up around academics. I know the type. I know the environment. And I certainly know the level of control these people have over their students and what they learn. And for too long, these people have been ruling the roost and feeding these kids a lot of bullshit, because somebody was impressed with the piece of paper that they have nailed to the wall.
Right, or they they wrote some bullshit bloviation about social constructs and whatnot. I don't know, man. It's all masturbation. When you get to that level, I think.
Pretty much.
I mean, because that's what it looks like to me. It's just jacking each other off, telling each other how wonderful they are.
Yeah.
And I guess that can
smelling each other's farts.
Yeah,
oh, what a wonderful bouquet.
Well, and that can happen, in the YouTubesphere too.
Yeah, it can, and that's what generally turns me off of a lot of content creators, is when I stumble upon one of these these chat sections or comment sections or on streams where there's a lot of fart sniffing and nobody's really saying, "Hey, I don't like the cut of your jib, sir."
It is kind of like
It's not like I agree with everything that everybody in Chaos says. It's if I have a disagreement with anybody, then I'll tell them off stream. But and if it necessitates a correction, then I will do so midstream. But mostly because the people in the Chaos 120 aren't really full of shit. It doesn't happen very often.
I want to say hello to everybody that's just now coming over from the Lords of the Night broadcast. I want to thank Randy Monkey, Scribelite, and Satsu for sending y'all over. So hopefully Scooby will be joining us as well. He's an awesome guy, and we're proud to have him as part of the family. We've been talking about I don't know about all kinds of things, and
elitism.
Yeah, exactly. That's where that's the corner of the where I don't know. This is what we've been talking about. And so, what about the hockey stuff? Have we heard anything about that lately?
It looks like the Caps are going to be going to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Lightning just kind of seemed to disappear. I don't know. Let me check. It was 3-0 in the third last time I looked. That sucks because I don't care much for Alex Ovechkin. I think he's another one of these powdered asses that hockey press seems to really love. He's a good hockey player. He puts up the points and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't like athletes put up on a pedestal. I really don't. It's these guys don't really they curdle my cream in my coffee.
Hey, Scooby.
Hey, Scoop.
What's up, guys?
So yeah, I am looking forward to Vegas handing these people their asses to them. I do not like the Capitals, and I will certainly be I'll be pulling for Vegas to pull this one off, because yeah, Alex Ovechkin's kind of a douche.
So the Golden Knights are going to the Cup?
Yeah, the Golden Knights are going to be playing the Washington Capitals for the Stanley Cup.
Nice.
So that is the NHL playoff update, brought to you by the Next 6 Minutes. Okay, just like a shifting of gears here. We have some interesting things brought to us by Colleen Bernier.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we're going to kick this one off with the Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, this is a Scottish man. Not really a Scottish man story, but let's see. Legend of Loch Ness Monster will be tested with DNA samples. We're getting sciencey here. All right. Wellington, New Zealand. These stories seem as tall as the lake is deep. For hundreds of years, visitors to Scotland's Loch Ness have described seeing a monster that some believe lurks in the depths. But now the legend of Nessie may have no place left to hide. A New Zealand scientist is leading an international team to the lake next month, where they will take samples of the murky waters and conduct DNA tests to determine what species live there. University of Otago professor Neil Gemmell says he's no believer in Nessie, but he wants to take people on an adventure and communicate some science along the way. Science. Besides, he says his kids think it's one of the coolest things he's ever done. One of the more far-fetched theories is that Nessie is a long-necked plesiosaur that somehow survived the period when dinosaurs became extinct. Another theory is that the monster is actually a sturgeon or giant catfish. Many believe the sightings are hoaxes or can be explained by floating logs or strong winds. Gemmell said when the creatures move about in water, they leave behind tiny fragments of DNA. It comes from their skin, feathers, scales, and urine. He said his team will take 300 samples of water from different points around the lake and at the different depths. They will filter the organic material and extract the DNA, he said, sequencing it by using technology originally created for the Human Genome Project. He said that the DNA results will then be compared against a database of known species. He said they should have answers by the end of the year. Quote, I'm going into this thinking it's unlikely there is a monster, but I want to test that hypothesis, Gemmell said. What we'll get is a really nice survey of the biodiversity of the Loch Ness. He said the real discoveries may come in determining things like the prevalence of invasive species. Gemmell 51, said he first visited Loch Ness in his late 20s while on vacation. Like thousands of tourists before him, he gazed out over the lake trying to catch a sight of a monster. He said he first came up with the idea of testing DNA from the lake a couple of years ago, and it resonated with many, including his children, ages 7 and 10. Graham Matheson, chief of the Scottish Society of New Zealand, said he too has visited Loch Ness and gazed out over the water, and that he wishes Gemmell all the best. And quote, I hope he and his cohorts find something, although I think they'll be battling. I guess that's his way of saying they're going to have a tough time doing it. Anyhow, Matheson said, still, it's a good way to get a trip to Scotland. Gemmell said that even if they don't find any monster DNA, it won't deter some Nessie believers. He said they've already been offering him theories like that Nessie might be on vacation after swimming to the sea via hidden underwater caves, or that the creature might be an extraterrestrial and may not leave behind any DNA. Quote, in our lives, we want there still to be mysteries, some of which we will ultimately solve. Gemmell said it's part of the spirit of discovery, and sometimes what you find may not be what you're expecting. True enough, true enough. So, you know, Fingers crossed, they might find some algae or some bacteria there that may cure cancer, or certainly cure boredom if it turns out to be a little interesting on the chemistry side. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Kids being bad, not doing what they're told. Yep. That kid's got some. That's.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, kids got to go to bed. Kids got to go to bed. But that's
Like prison, we just shut the lights off at a certain time. That was it.
Well, hey, Scooby, since we got like a little break here, tell us about your day, man.
It was an interesting day. I got up this morning. I was gonna go over to the rally, and I looked, and what had happened was there was no passes to the thing. It was closed because it was another one of these meetings that they were having with law enforcement for MS-13, because those animal are over in Brentwood tearing up the park. I didn't go to the thing because I wouldn't have been able to get in, and it was all protesters that were going to be there. And the thing that drove me nuts, I looked. There's this. I put up a video about it. It's called MakeTheRoadNewYork.org. And
saw
what
that
it is,
video.
Yeah. Oh man, I went off. I lost it.
Thanks for the name drop there, buddy.
I noticed like that.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that all off the. I do all my videos off the cuff, but it just stuck in my craw. You know.
I enjoy your improvisation. Just putting that out there. I like your improv there, buddy.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. It's, as somebody who I don't know if I ever told you guys, both of my grandfathers got dragged down to the docks and shackles to be deported. So they both got 11th hour resolutions. I'll tell you about it another time because it's a bit lengthy. But point is, my mother's an anchor baby. It's not like I'm coming out saying, oh, screw these immigrants. But when you got people who are literally off the boat, they don't even, they still got the smell. They still got the smell of the salt air to them. That's how fresh off the boat they are. And you're trying to bypass everything to make them citizens just so you can get them to vote. You're nuts about it. It's not because you care about these people. That's the thing. They're just a number to you. When I say you, I'm talking about the Democrats. And that's why I got so livid about this shit. It's like, they're sitting there saying, oh, Trump's racist. He's racist. No, you're stacking the deck and you're using these poor people to do it. You bunch of dirtbags. And I hate it. It drives me nuts. Well, like my family, immigrants. What that video was about. And the other one was about how the Democrats are just nuts. That neighborhood I was driving in, it looked peaceful that day. That's one of the worst neighborhoods around here. There's shootings every Friday and Saturday night in the summer in that neighborhood. Put a fucking Starbucks. Put a Starbucks in the ghetto.
Genius.
Starbucks. Starbucks, of course, is the establishment that solves all problems by the power of caffeine.
Yeah, crazy bastard.
Caffeine and scones. Biscotti.
Oh,
I tell you this much. I went into that Starbucks just on a whim, and I'll tell you guys something. You could just smell the equality of outcome that was going on in there. Just everyone there. It was just across the board.
Oh my God.
I did not know that the revolution was going to have Miles Davis pumping through the speakers. No.
Oh my gosh. Hey, he's got a mean horn, man. He's got a mean horn.
Oh man. Speaking of which, did you guys hear? I follow that YouTuber, Andy Mayhem, Uncle Hotep. He goes under that title. I think I sent you guys a few videos in the past.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He, I forget the guy's name. He's famous. He's a big jazz artist from back in the day. That's his name. Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah.
Brantford's brother.
Right.
Right. He goes like this. Jazz musician Wynton Marsalis says rap and hip hop are more damaging than a statue of Robert E. Lee.
Ooh.
And
You know what? I don't disagree.
me neither.
I don't disagree. I really don't.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I've had this conversation with Sir Adamantine before, and he doesn't agree. But I do think that two generations of people glorifying criminals, literally, you know, glorifying them and their behavior, you know, has kind of led to this, to where we're at today.
At least, it's been a major contributor.
Yeah, and prison culture, you know, being intertwined with, you know, with just, you know, just American culture.
Yeah, you're not legit unless you've done a dime for armed
well, there's,
robbery.
you know, and for the while there was the sagging pants and all that shit, you know, and just stuff that was, you know, that's come over now because of the whole romanticization of it. I still don't get it, you know. You know, because people say, "Yeah, man, I'm gangster and shit," and I'm like, "Dude, you know, I don't." Okay, so you can kill people, you know, with a gun. All right, I get that. All right, I get that. But it doesn't make you any more special. That's like saying because you made a child, you've done something. Fucking dogs fuck. You know, dogs fuck. Can you father a child? Can you raise a child? That's the question.
The appeal that I've noticed about this, and I could be very wrong about this, of course, because, well, whatever, is this music does appeal to a certain demographic that has been essentially robbed of their agency.
It's mostly white kids now, white males.
Yeah, and they tend to vote a certain way when they're older. But let's just say it rhymes with what are those things that crawl around? They have the long tails and they got the whiskers and they eat the cheese. They chew through pipes. They chew through pipes and sometimes they come up through your toilet. They do a lot of the sweeping.
From New Jersey.
Yeah. They tend to grow up and vote Democrat because they're part of the plantation because they've been robbed of their agency. These are people who are generally they don't have a lot of confidence. They don't have a lot of strength in their life. So they look at these guys and they idolize them because these are guys that don't put up with no shit from nobody.
He was ready to hand the reins off
and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's whereas you have jazz, which is it's a very confident. It's a very self-assured. It is a far. This is a line that I remember. It's probably the only line I remember from this movie. But Smoking Aces 2. The protagonist is talking to one of the other principal characters. He's an agent that's working as a bartender for this.
He runs the
safe
OBS
house,
and he is a producer.
that's located in this jazz club.
Tonka had the
and
final say. When it was on Failure's show, Failure had the final say.
His deal. This is the way he was introduced. That I could say all this hard stuff and so on and so forth, but I prefer not to. That's not my thing.
He's not going to tell
I listen to jazz because it is a superior art form than
how he's been doing things for
all these other derivatives like hip hop and rap.
It wasn't
and so
necessarily that he was already 1 foot out the door.
I say this coming from a kid that was one of these little non-African American kids. And the late 80s, I grew up with rap, the Run DMC, the Grandmaster Flash, the Houdini, and so on and so forth, throughout the 1980s and into the early 90s. The acts there. I own most of the up until maybe about the early 2000s. I owned most of Public Enemy albums. I owned a few NWA albums. I was somebody that listened to rap. Certainly somebody who allowed himself to venture into, let's say, Sean King territory for a period of time. Yes, I'll freely admit that. Yes, I was Sean King before Sean King was Sean King. I was transracial before it was cool. So yeah, jazz is a superior art form.
You know, the one thing though that I would not so much I would want to correct Wynton Marsalis. I just want to say to him, obviously, you know, I grew up on the same exact music you're talking about. I think I told you I knew Rakim when I was a kid because he was actually from the neighborhood.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah, they're actually from my neighborhood. Yeah. Path runs through Lindenhurst.
I enjoyed their stuff when I was here. Yes.
And I forget which member. Forgive me, chat. I cannot name the person because I don't remember which one it was. But there was a King Cullen. It's still there, the King Cullen, but they don't have security guards anymore since we got, you know, a budget of more cops and cameras, and you know, we cracked down on a lot of the junkies. But they used to have a security guard there, and when he left, he went and he joined the Wu-Tang Clan. He was, you know, because you know they got like, you know, between them and they had the Killer Bees, there was something like, oh, I don't know, 30 members, I think, with the Killer Bees. So I think he was like a member of the Killer Bees. But was like the old school myself. And the thing I'd point out to Wynton Marsalis is aren't the same thing. Hip-hop specifically is from New York, and it's from the late 70s into the mid-90s. Probably about a 20-year span. Basically, it's Long Island and the 5 boroughs, and that's it. That's what I personally would consider hip-hop. Anything other than that is rap. I'm not saying that trying, you know, like to slight to anybody, but that's literally how everyone around here looks at it. To the island, it isn't hip-hop. I'm just saying that as a native New Yorker. I'm not trying to ruffle anyone's feathers. I agree with him. Rap music in general nowadays it's garbage. I haven't heard anything good. Hip-hop itself is a movement. We don't really have much coming out here locally. You get people once in a while who are actually able to emulate it properly. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but I have heard a few songs in the past few years that I would consider good, of that caliber.
But you would say that the quality has degraded to a large degree over the last, say, maybe 20, 25 years.
Can you find any album, Six, in your opinion, as a man who grew up on the same music as me, anything that you would hold, let's say, Midnight Marauders by Tribe Called Quest? Anything that you think even approaches that caliber of quality?
Entire albums?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I can't think of one.
Yeah. The movement has just... They killed it. They commercialized the shit out of it.
Yeah, it became pop music in the mid-1990s. Yeah, the artists like P. Diddy and all the Jay-Z's and all these people. I would say 1992, maybe 1993 is probably the last years that you could buy an entire album and it would be quality from start to finish.
Diddy, that fucking Puffy. I call him Puff Daddy still because he doesn't like to be called it anymore. He's a douche. He's a douchebag with capital letters. There was this song that came out a few years ago. Jesus, a few years ago. Okay, there was this song that came out about 22 years ago. I just realized how long ago it is. By Notorious B.I.G. and Junior Mafia. Called All About the Benjamins. Very good friend of mine did the remix on it with his band called Fuzz Bubble. Puff Daddy signed them to Bad Boy. You ever heard of them? Because he did something where they got fucked in their contract negotiations and they were never able to release another album.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so he basically destroyed my boy's band. And...
Alright, boys. I gotta get going. 5 minutes till the minions.
Alright, you take it easy there, Terra, and...
yeah, give everyone my best. Yeah, tell everyone on the minions I said what's up.
I will.
And I already made my requests earlier, so...
Alright, bye guys.
Take
Later. I'm glad that she went back onto the minions. She was worried for a little while that Burnside's tirade scared everyone away from Chaos.
Yeah, everybody that you know, as soon as this broadcast is over in about 30, 35, 36 minutes, yeah, hop on over to Minions and you know, give our girls some support. I don't know. I think this is Rom-Fi got the best of him this time. Either that, or he's talking to a. Me too. Or is it tomorrow? He's off tomorrow. Really? He must be out with his Night Crow and his who was the other guy's name? They're having guys' night out. And they're doing whatever.
No, God forgive me for saying this. I got this picture in my head of them driving around in that fucking Saab, like T-Bird and his crew and the Crow.
He almost made me choke on my teeth, man. Oh my god. Let's get the scene from Zoolander in my head. Jitterbug. Jitterbug. Do 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 do. There. Orange mocha frappuccino. I just hope they don't. I hope they don't die in a gasoline fight.
I have to go watch that movie when we get off stream now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, it's a toss-up. What's the best part of that movie? It's either that one scene or just what's his face, Will Ferrell's entire performance.
Yeah, I think I'm taking crazy pills. Blue Steel, Latigra, they're the same look. You've got nothing, Derek. Nothing. I fucking love that movie. You've never seen it? Oh, it's a fucking bad. Avoid the sequel. It's unless you get like the extended cut of it, it's just going to be boring. But yeah, the original is quite enjoyable. It's one of those things where it's one of those comedy movies that really came out of like left field and kind of gave the audiences what they've been needing for a long time.
For Frankie Goes to Hollywood too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Herbie Hancock.
It's just a great movie. It really was. It's rare that they're able to pull one off like this. Like it's almost accidental how well it got pulled off.
Yeah. It's so much of it is when you look at like the commentary and stuff about a lot of it was improvised, a lot, and some of the best shit in the movie was improvised, and that's really awesome when a film set clicks and people are they're all on the same page, they're all in the same wavelength, and it just creates this magic.
Yeah.
Speaking of magic, so Colleen brings us this story about a Largo man who broke into a jewelry store, cut himself on glass, and bled all over everything. Speaking of, hey, they won't have to go to different parts of the store to get DNA samples to see if he's the Loch Ness Monster. Let's see. A Largo man was arrested Monday after said he broke into the front door of a jewelry store and stole 10 grand in jewelry. but cut himself in the process and left blood all over the store. Police arrested Jaime Williams, or is it Jamie? I think it's Jaime, the way that they spelled it. He looks like a Jaime. Williams, 31, on a charge of burglary on Monday morning after a short ways away covered in blood. Yeah. Didn't get far. Officers said they were called to the Silver Queen jewelry store in response to the burglary. There, they reviewed surveillance video that showed a man arriving on a black bicycle, leaning against a tree, and then destroying the glass front door to get inside, and an arrest report states. Video also showed the burglar breaking into a display case by smashing the glass and taking several pieces of jewelry. He then left the store and hid the jewelry in some bushes. Officers noted that there was a large amount of blood throughout the scene in the store from the defendant injuring himself on the broken glass. About 90 minutes after their arrival, officers found Williams several hundred feet from the store wearing the same clothes as the burglar, a gray t-shirt, blue shorts, and red sandals, and covered in blood. One might say they caught him red-handed. Officers read him his Miranda rights. Williams said that he wanted a lawyer. However, he did ask officers, "What are you going to do with my bike?" Referring to the bicycle that the burglar had leaned against the tree. He was being held in the Pinellas County Jail Tuesday in lieu of $5,000 bail. You know what? Lockup is probably the best place for this guy. Yeah, he's having trouble existing and in society. Yeah, this is a guy that you kind of you want to put the foam on sharp objects when this guy's around, and you certainly want to insist that he wear his helmet, because he's one of these dudes that stumbles through life and downstairs and out windows and bleeding all over himself and asking about his bicycle. This is one of these kind of guys. So, Jaime Williams, I salute you. Enjoy your stay in county. Interesting, Colleen. You found us a very interesting story here. Malfunctioning toilet causes South Mecklenburg High School evacuation. They couldn't handle this shit.
It got stuck in reverse. When they do that.
Oh man. You got to be careful when shifting gears when you're on the crapper. Let's see. Charlotte. I guess this is in the Carolinas there. Charlotte, a malfunctioning toilet forced the evacuation of a building at South Mecklenburg High School Wednesday. Charlotte Fire Department officials said they were called to the school for a report of a hazardous material situation and students complaining of irritated eyes. Oh, hey, wow. So I've people are oh, it's like a fucking chemical attack. Then I think these kids have really poor diets. Pictures from Chopper 9 showed fire trucks and crime scene tape being put up around the building. Oh my gosh! It's in this case, it was not not a case of a school shooter. It was the case of a school shitter.
Good one.
Thank you. After investigating, firefighters said it was a toilet that was backed up. When school workers cleared the blockage, a significant amount of sewage gas was released, causing the problem. I guess nobody saw aliens. It was the sewer gas. It was not a UFO. It's not Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It was oh, shit. Oh. Some students were treated at the scene, but no one was taken to the hospital. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, that's a So let's see. I did the NHL news, yes. Scoob, did you hear about the bearing situation? We were talking about that earlier.
You know, they were going over it on Lords of the Night, but no one knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah, we only got as so far as speculation.
Cannabis oil ads that he was doing.
Oh, the CBD.
Yeah.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Here's a question that I brought this up on Twitter. I asked this question. I believe it was on one of Irate Bear's comments. I asked, is CBD oil, for anybody in the chat that may know this, is CBD oil legal in Australia? If so, whose jurisdiction was it left up to if this is indeed the case, that it was the CBD oil advertisements that got him shut down? Whose jurisdiction did he run afoul of that justified his channel being taken down? Like I said, if and only if this was why. If we're running with this theory, what's the deal there? What's the skinny? What's the 411?
Curious myself,
because I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard a good explanation on that one. Yeah, so somebody on Irate Bear's Twitter, when he posted the advisory that Bearing had been taken down. That's somebody made a comment. It might have been the CBD oil thing, and I asked the question, what's the deal there? I don't know enough about the laws, international laws regarding CBD oil, and yeah, I don't know enough about it to really. So if anybody else does, hey, I'm all ears.
What they do basically is they take the keef, the crystals that you see on a really good pot. You'll see it in like I'm sure you've known stoners in the past. They show you like their centerfolds in High Times magazine where it looks like rock candy.
Yeah.
They take pot that looks like that and you put it through a grinder and you specifically collect the crystals.
Yeah.
The oil from the crystals.
Yeah, as far as I know, you don't get high from this stuff. It's an extract of it's the oil. It's not the THC.
You can actually distill a few different oils from those crystals. You can actually split it where you concentrate the THC and you get whacked off your ass. One where it's just no THC, so you get mild and relaxed, but there's no psychoactive effects. I've had the concentrated shit. Oh my god.
Oh, you're talking about had the hashish.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's hash oil. It's like you take instead of making it into the brick of hash, they distill it even further and it's a liquid.
You dip the brown, then you go to town.
This stuff gets you destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Irate, I don't know when the last time you danced with Mary Jane was, but the new shit now, this younger generation, because they got oh my, holy shit.
I never messed with myself, but I did know the dudes that did. And sometimes you didn't hear from them for days.
Well, they wanted to put me on all sorts of pills for my back and for my the damage to my nerves, and they wanted to give me something for this, and they want me to take all these different pills. And I'm not taking all those opiates. I'd be dead. So I said, no, the hell with it. That's my right. I'm not taking pain management. I take reefer. I take a little bit of reefer, and that's it. It helps my insomnia. It helps my ADHD. It helps my OCPD. And it helps my crushed discs in my back and my crippled leg. All that from that one plant. I take all these opium derivatives. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, don't get caught up in that. If weed is gonna facilitate a better quality of life for you, then by all means.
I can buy, like, let's say if I bought a half ounce of the shit, like 3 weeks. I don't go through it, I go through it quick, but I use small amounts in each clip. But I do have to take these small amounts, like every hour or so, every 2 hours, depending, to deal with the pain in my back. And, because it's not the same as taking a pill for ADHD or the other things, it wears off faster. But that's the beauty of it. You can take a little bit more if it wears off to, like, put the edge back on or take it off, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I had actually, I was getting the oils that they were prescribing to people. I had to connect. And it looks actually like a little Capri cigarette made out of aluminum. Same as the little single-serve cigarettes that they have for the vape people. Because it's a vape pen is what it is. And it's got the oil in it, the pot oil.
Yeah.
I was using that for a little while because, again, it's measured dosage. I'm not sitting here as like I say pot, immediately the first thing that goes through somebody's head is I'm sitting here with like a fucking 4-foot hookah, or I got like, a gravity bong made out of a Deer Park bottle in the fucking bathtub.
No, you're not.
It ain't like that. I'm not.
You're not. You're not in a drum circle in your backyard with 7 hippies.
My fraternity days are long past me.
Yeah. Look at. I'll be honest. I'll be frank here. That if I found out that pot could cure my allergies, I'd be smoking me some pot. But
oh God, I could not imagine you with reefer in your system.
Well, yeah, the late '90s. That was a long time ago. I was a very different person, and there's a few reasons why I didn't graduate until 2011.
It's funny. I didn't actually even touch the shit too much in the '90s. I was a drinker back then.
I was more of a drinker in the mid 2000s. I went from pot to prodigious amounts of cheap beer.
I only started screwing with pot maybe in the past couple of years because of how bad my back had gotten, and they kept trying to put me on all these different pills for my back, and they had me taking the big Vicodins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Taking 2 of those in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, and 2 at night. So I was taking 8 of those a day. They had me taking. I told them, I said, no, I'm not taking those Vicodins no more. Give me something else that, non-narcotic. All this shit. And it's actually the guy I got patches off of. He had his dealer move in with him at the time. So I was getting a really good deal on this shit. So I just said, fuck it. I'll start taking reefer for my back and for everything else.
His dealer moved in with him. That's like, it's like living in a McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, especially if you knew the guy I'm talking about. Oh, fuck yeah. I used to tell him, like, we're damn lucky that you can smoke pot because you'd be mainlining this shit. But, it's funny, actually, the dealer, I think I told you guys, this was the guy, if you remember maybe about like 5-6 years ago, there was a thing, these kids were spelunking up over in Pennsylvania, and the kid took a running leap and he jumped into the water hole, and just from the way he hit the water.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Well, the dealer was, I told him, I see him, I'm like, hey, what's going on, bro? He's like, oh my God, I had the most horrible weekend. I'm like, why? What happened? He's like, we're over in Pennsylvania. He's like, and my boy, you know, was swimming. He's like, and he jumps into the swimming hole and he lands in front of me. And let's just say the guy's name was Timmy. He's like, I start shaking his shoulder. I'm like, Timmy, yo, Timmy. He's like, he died. Shit, that was you? He's like, yeah, this guy, he didn't know. And like, we showed him on our phones and he freaked the fuck out because he didn't know that it was all over the news and on Twitter and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Old.
Yeah.
This guy was weird. I don't know if I ever told you. I introduced him to my nephews because they were looking to score a reefer off of the guy. My nephew, I'm like, hey, you got to see this guy. He's a dead ringer for Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Bring him around and to meet my nephew, and he had crew cutted his entire head, shaved off his beard, and like crew cutted down his eyebrows. What the fuck happened to you? He's like, well, you know how you normally looked, right? I go, yeah. He looked like Seth Rogen when he used to have a beard and that afro.
Yeah.
Cut it like, 10, 20 years ago or whatever. However hell long ago 40-year-old virgin was. He looked just like him, and he shows up and he shaved off all of his shit. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? He's like, bro, I took like a half ounce of mushrooms yesterday. He's like, and I'm in the bathroom taking a piss. He's like, and all of a sudden, he's like, my afro and my beard just started like going crazy. He's like, I had to buzz everything off.
Oh my gosh.
He was an interesting cat, to say the least.
Yeah, occasionally I'll do that, man.
Who the hell does that?
Maintaining my facial hair, and I'll gap it or some shit, so I have to shave it off, man, and grow it all over. I fucking hate that shit. You got to pay attention, especially I've got this weird goatee looking thing with I've got these two long, like I don't know how to describe them, like old school Chinese. Things coming off of it, the
Fu Manchu going on.
Yeah, they're about, I'd say they're almost 3 inches each now.
I have always envisioned you as having those those late 19th century dapper handlebar mustache with the wax tip curls.
I can't make it do it, man. I've tried. Yep. I have definitely tried. The whips I got on this motherfucker. I could have like a double curl. It would look wicked as hell, but I can't. It won't do it.
I always pictured you with a really big braided ponytail, like Jeff Bridges in The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh yeah.
And Hawaiian shirts all day.
Oh, I'm not the dude. That's funny as shit. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I like to shave my head. I like to keep it just like crispy, clean, cue ball.
It's funny. I was describing the way I looked about like 10 years ago.
Oh man. Yeah,
I
started going bald.
Yeah,
I started going bald when I was like 18 and shit. And I just said, fuck it. When I was about 25, I just started shaving it.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve.
The preemptive strike. You went with the Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, you went with you pulled the Tyrerian Lannister? Who was the father?
Oh, Tywin.
Is it Tywin? I read the books, but yeah, he started to go bald and he shaved his head in the books.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. He was a tough bastard.
Yeah.
But yeah, they portrayed him a little bit differently in the TV show, but they did a good job of it though. All the people that read it are happy with it. So, but yeah, I've got a goatee. I got no hair. I got hair everywhere, but on my head. Yeah, I'm living proof God has a sense of humor. Trust me, man.
Yeah, I can't even grow a beard.
I make Serrano-Mantine gag when I talk about having to shave my shoulders. In the summertime, man, I swear to God, it gets so hot. I have to. I literally have to shave my shoulders.
I'm waiting the day we run into one of those male feminists with the multicolored hair like their female counterparts, but a really hairy dude that is gone to dyeing all his fluffy shoulders, so on and so forth. Yeah, like the feminists who dye their pit hair.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound messed up. There was a guy when I used to work at the beach, and when I say he looked like he was wearing a sweater, this guy he must have been somewhere in Italy. He had more body hair than I thought possible. Like the only people I've ever seen hairy were those women that they would show the pictures of from the 17th century, where they got the lawn chain thing going on, like the Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's really hairy. And what was great is he used to get drunk and pass out on the boardwalk with his friends, because you're allowed to like dock your boats down there, and so there's like a boardwalk next to the boat basin, and everyone hangs out and barbecues there. There's picnic tables. You basically can show up and get completely drunk. There's a bar at the end. It's that beach that I went and filmed at called Gilgo. I think you've seen the bar there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And so this guy would get completely verschnickered and he'd pass out on the floor. So he did this one year, and somebody knew he was going to do it. And I was the dock master, and I seen them doing this, and my eyes went huge. I'm like, you guys, he's going to kill you. You ever see like those edging, like for your eyebrows, the little mini buzzers?
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
They took a bunch of them while this guy was passed out, and everyone autographed him. Like he was completely passed out. They all wrote their names in his, and shaved it off, and used I guess a towel, whatever, to get the excess off. I mean, it looked really good, and he was passed out. So they all took a group picture with their signatures all written on him.
Oh my gosh. So we were talking about the 40-year-old origin. I remember the mana lantern scene.
That was great.
Which was done in one take.
Really?
That was his real body hair getting yanked out.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. He bled and shit.
That. I'm sorry. Nothing against anybody who's into it, but that manscaping shit, that's weird.
It is. It's.
No, I don't get into it either. I just it doesn't make no sense to me.
Saying if you want to clean yourself up a little bit, that's one thing. But when you go to the extremes that I see some of these men going to,
yeah,
there used to be a term, metrosexual.
Yeah.
I believe was the term that people used to use for it.
It's for men who have all the earmarks of being gay but are straight.
Yeah.
Metrosexual is. They
check off all the boxes except one.
To get labeled that all the time. And I used to say, I said, that's really saying bad about you guys. Well, then again, most of my friends were bikers, but they used to comment, get on me because of my hygiene and my fashion sense. And I used to tell them, I'm like, I'm a Dago, you fucking Peckerwoods. This is how we look. Because we would go out on a Friday or a Saturday night, and they're all rough and tumble looking, and I'm in a 3-piece suit. What the hell are you doing? I told you to dress casual. This is my casual suit. Yeah, I used to get that label too when I was younger, metrosexual. It's nowhere near now. That was just because I would have a haircut, I was clean shaven, and I had on nice clothes, and I dressed, I looked good. I would wear jewelry, again, it's goes with the culture.
I'm one of these weird guys. I'll get into it in just a bit. Go ahead. Finish your thought there.
No, that was pretty much it. I was just one of those people where I'd sit there and I go out with them, and you know, I got labeled metrosexual because of having a fashion sense, and it was more like a cultural thing. Like I said, I was the lone paisan, you know, and all these guys were rednecks.
Yeah, I'm one of these guys that I don't have a middle ground as far as how I dress. I either dress like I'm a slob that just you know, sandals, sweatpants, and a faded t-shirt that may or may not be clean, or I am dressed to the nines. You know, rocking the pinky ring and the medallion. You've seen how I dress. You remember that picture with me with the mohawk, right?
Yeah, I seen. You look like an enforcer.
Yeah, that's, I go from one extreme to the other. I don't really have a fashion middle ground. It's either 0 or 60.
Man, I'd have cut my sleeves off with a fucking pocket knife today going down the goddamn road.
You doing,
know
brother?
what I'm saying? What's going on, Scooby? Irate. What's up, my brother? How you living?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Nothing, man. Ain't nothing, man. Fucking, you know what I mean? I told everybody I was going to come over here and crawl into the motherfucking cream stream. You know what I'm saying? See if, you know what I mean, I can hang out with y'all for a little bit because I'm not ready for bed yet.
Yeah, this is the Chaos 120 stream, but yeah, you can hang out. We've got about 5 minutes to go, so.
Chaos 120, goddamn, man, look, man, look. I just come over here to fucking hang the fuck out with you, man, because, you know, it's motherfucking Whale Gang Army right now. That's the situation.
I feel you. Well, yeah, I'm down for tomorrow night with you and Accelerate.
Well, what do you guys got cooking for tomorrow night?
Spreading the grill.
Oh man, look here. We got the Necro Butcher coming on. We got Aircraft Sparky. We got Irate Prostate. We're hoping to turn into a little bit of internet blood sports with fucking the Australian Nazi versus motherfucking Stephen the Lethal Wrench Blackman.
That sounds interesting.
That sounds really cool, actually. Yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, we haven't been able to get a hold of Stephen the Lethal Wrench Blackman all fucking week. I'm not real sure whether or not it's gonna happen.
Well, just keep your fingers crossed.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's what I said, man.
I feel you. So, man, what's going on with y'all, man? Y'all over here talking about dressing and stuff? Like, what's the situation?
Yeah, we're just winding down from the show.
Yeah.
Covered a lot of territory. Scooby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, we was over here getting it the fuck in, man. Like, fucking, I've been streaming for like the past like 2 hours myself because I didn't know y'all were going on, and by the time we did, like, fucking. You know, it was what it was. So we just fucking kicked it and enjoyed ourselves a little bit and had some fun. We drug like, who was over here? We had fucking dual wheeled and all types of cats on this shit. We were just bullshit because we were fucking bored.
Yeah.
And we're trying to build a base over on his channel. You know what I'm saying? Fucking because, you know, I caught that hate speech strike for motherfucking making fun of the mariachi bands and shit.
That is such bullshit, man. Man.
So what brand of deodorant they use?
What brand of deodorant do I use?
No.
Mariachi bands use, because honestly, they're wearing like that outfit. They got to be sweating their ass off, but they look cool the whole time.
Man, they come from a hot place. So I'm assuming when they make it up to Texas, where somebody actually wants to see a fucking mariachi band, you know what I mean? It's a little cooler for them. It's like, you know, it would be kind of like, you know, like an Alaskan, you know what I mean? Fucking, I don't know, something like that. No. It'd be like if we went to Alaska, they'd be up there wearing shorts, and we'd be like bundled up in like fucking burkas and, you know, all types of extracurricular shit. You know what I mean? We'd be wrapped up in some fucking overalls and some fucking two-piece fucking, you know, onesies and shit and long johns and the whole nine.
God bless those people. I don't know how the hell they can deal with that. Those Alaskans. Seriously, you know, okay, the sun is going to be up for like the next 6 months. Have fun. Okay, the sun's going to be gone for the next 6 months. See ya.
Yeah, I'd be up for like, I'd be happy as shit for 6 months and then be miserable for 6 months. You know what I mean? That does kind of be how the fuck it would work. You know what I mean? Like, wintertime comes, man, I'd be ready to sleep. Like, I want to hibernate all fucking winter and shit.
Me too, man. I'm the same way. I'm built for it, and I'm not built for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, dude, the winters up here are fucking vicious. Like, I don't know. You're down south, right? You're like down like, you're down by like the Gulf Coast. See, like the winters up here. Yo, me and Scooby know they're a whole different animal. Like,
oh, Tom, I just jumped in because man, I love that voice. I just want to say it. Damn, fuck, that's fucking killer. But where's up north to you?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm in Canada, man.
I had to go to Discord. Like, who the fuck am I talking to and shit? Yeah, everybody likes his voice. I don't know what the deal is. Like, we sat there. I'll tell you what we did. Fucking, we had like a discussion about like who had a deeper voice, me or Irate, right? And I was like, me or Excel. I'm sorry, me or Excel. Yeah, I'm sorry, my brain. Like, I've been firing off for like 2 hours. Anyway, we brought up a clip.
Definitely the deeper one there. But dude, your voice is fucking silky smooth. Whatever accent that is, that's not Pennsylvania native, is it?
It is. I was born in Okay, so here's the situation. My family's from Jersey and West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's like fucking pimp talk, man. That is
whereabouts in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Harrisburg. I'm like in like the south central like the Appalachians, but like it's still like a city. It's like the capital. So like, you know, like fucking you got it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Here's an interesting story. I born and raised in Texas, but I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan.
Yeah.
I'm a 49ers fan. You know what I mean?
You know, I just realized because we got Tom and Irving and myself on here, if we got plain speech on here too, there's just enough of us. There's enough Dagos. We could start a crime ring.
Oh, fuck. We're probably already being investigated.
And I'll be the Mexican getaway driver.
I think 3 of us might be enough. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the blue-eyed Irishman. Yeah. So we can make we can pull off like Goodfellas, you know.
Prostate, you'll be the Irish lookout.
That's right.
I'll be the Mexican getaway driver, and these guys will be the guys that pull the job.
That's right.
I'm always concerned when I'm always concerned when Irish people are around because I'm worried about getting fucking arrested. Because like every last one of them, they're either cops or their fucking brothers or dads are fucking cops. It's fucking weird.
I'm concerned about Mexican getaway drivers because we're going to be undone by a speed bump.
Hey, I don't rock minis.
Oh man, they're gonna fucking like we had the Puerto Ricans up here, man. We ain't got no fucking Mexicans and shit. You know what I mean? So fucking like you had the guys driving around in their fucking Mazda Z's with the fucking cocodrilo on the side of it, like all fucking yellow and shit.
It's funny because we've had a really big influx up here. A lot of folks from all over South America. Like there's this one block in the neighborhood called Strong's. And it's kind of funny because on the one side it's all El Salvadorians, and on the other side it's all Dominicans.
Oh,
you know, you'll be at the gas station in the morning, and you'll see them come out to get their paper, and they just stand there for a few minutes, and like they give each other the dirtiest looks. I turn to the one guy, and he's sitting there, and he's drinking his orange juice because it's like mad early in the morning. And I go like this to him. I go, "Wow, I guess this is kind of like watching like that scene in Gandhi unfold where the Muslims and the Hindus go at it, and he spit orange juice all over his car."
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I moved up to the sticks for a little bit, fucking. Then up there's a restaurant where they had like a whole bunch of El Salvadorians working in the kitchen and shit. Mm-hmm. You know I mean, and like I found out that like a lot of them El Salvadorians are U.S. citizens because of the fucking war that happened down there or some bullshit. I don't know what the fucking deal is, right? But the one of them, he was like dressed like a praying mantis, and he tried to check me because like he thought I was just some regular ass white dude. You know what I mean? So he walks up, he looks like a praying mantis. He's like all like tall and super lanky. You know what I mean? Like he's like shaped like a fucking triangle in the middle. You know, and fucking yeah. He's like, what's up, Blanquito? Hey, Blanquito. And he comes up and fucking, you know what I mean, does this whole like fucking, you know, like Mexican essay thing that they try to do or whatever. You know what I mean? He fucking like tried to like shoulder bump me and shit, and I turned around and looked at him. Motherfucker tried to put his hands. I picked him up and put him in a dumpster. I was like, dude, you weigh like 110 pounds. Why the fuck are you trying me to fuck out? Like, the fuck is wrong with you?
It's the same phenomenon that you get with dogs. The smaller the dog, the bigger it thinks it is.
That's crazy.
You will get, yeah. I grew up around these. I grew up around these guys. 5'5", like 150 pounds soaking wet, but they would try to throw down with these guys over 6 feet tall and like 250 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Fearless little guys.
Hated that. Every time we would go out, I was always the one who got punched in the mouth because I was the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking.
Yep. You get the cheap shot
I hate
in.
that shit.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why I stopped drinking whiskey, because I always try to swing at the biggest motherfucker in the goddamn room all the time. You know what I mean? I get tired of waking up with the goddamn bruises and shit, because you don't know what the fuck happened to you. Like, I get
no shit. Yeah, man.
Like, you know, that Jack Daniels, man, he don't like me much. You know, real shit.
I actually got a bit of a reputation at one point. Like, people would say, you know, what the fuck, because every time the shit hits the fan, you always dip and go outside. What are you, a pussy? And I tell them, I'm like, because what was happening was, like, the two guys would be arguing, like, one of my friends and the guy there, and he goes like he's going to hit my friend, and they'd haul off and hit me. I'm the bigger guy, so they wanted to make sure that they got the shot, the best shot they were going to get in on me is that they could, just to try to drop me in case, like, while they were fighting my friend, I jumped in.
Well, that's always been the rule, man. You hit the biggest motherfucker with the biggest mouth in the motherfucking room. That's immediate. You know what I'm saying?
Quiet. I didn't say anything. I was just there. You know, I'm sitting there trying to play darts and drink beer. And, you know, I try to pick up a broad, and I'm not looking for any trouble. So the minute the shit hit the fan and one of my friends got in the mix, if it was one-on-one, fuck it, I would go outside and like watch through the window. Like if shit got hectic afterwards, I'd come back in and help. Every time I'm in there, like they'd be arguing like, "Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. That's right." Turn around, and punch me.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I had a buddy of mine named Little Ricky, right? And Little Ricky, he was like 5'2", 104 fucking pounds, soaking wet. He used to ride horses and shit. And this motherfucker here, like, he made $450,000 at 17 years old riding horses and shit, right? Put it all up his nose, and he never fucking saw a dime of it ever again. You know, fucking just that type of dude. But this motherfucker here, he on a regular basis, every time we go somewhere, that motherfucker would start some retarded ass ridiculous shit all the fucking time. Man, I can't tell you how many times he'd pick a fight and I'd end up having to fucking finish it for him because that motherfucker get his goddamn ass fucking handed to him.
Some people just cannot handle their own aggressive tendencies.
Yeah.
Man, look, this dude here, I swear to God, I come out in the hallway. We were in high school. I remember this. I come out in the hallway and fucking this dude Tug, right? This guy, his name's Tug for a reason. He's like fucking like 6'3", fucking 345 fucking pounds. Guy curls like fucking 265 curls.
What the
right?
Fuck.
Yeah, this guy's ridiculous. He's just this massive fucking human being, and he has Ricky by the fucking throat, right? My boy fucking Shoddy runs up and he fucking puts him against the throat, against the wall. Now you got two of my buddies up against the fucking wall. And we come up and I fucking take his fucking legs out. And this guy's still fucking us up. All three of us at the same time. He got us all in a fucking headlock and shit. But the whole thing started because little Ricky jumped up and punched him in the fucking mouth.
Little Ricky.
Yep.
Little fucking Ricky, man.
I think at my best, I maybe just was like a plate or two over 200.
What?
My
benching?
best. Machine, like, you know, like I just
benching wise or curling? What?
It's 200. Maybe 200 at my best was the most I ever curled, and that's like, you know, when you're using the bar and you're actually like sitting down at the curling bench, you know, not standing in front of the mirrors with like 200-pound dumbbells, not like that.
Yeah.
God, 265. Jesus.
Okay, now I'm much shorter than you, but still, the most I ever curled was 140. Like, that's at 5'10", 140. That's actually not terrible. But still, yeah.
Hey everybody, sorry I was been away for a while. I had to take care of a couple things here.
Burnside.
Hey Irv.
Yeah.
Hey Scoob.
We're going into extra innings tonight, so.
Yo, fuck it, man. I got nothing better to do.
They sure just get put in.
The prostate, he's hosted.
I got a wife.
Awesome.
Uzi's cool with this shit, man. She knows she's all right. She's like, yeah, man, everything's smooth right now.
Yeah, my balls are in a vice.
Uzi's like, man, yo, that dude there, Tom Pease, yo, he's fucking awesome. Yo, you're just gonna let that motherfucker rock all night with you. It's gonna be what it is.
Oh, diggity.
No diggity, no doubt. Man, listen, yeah, fucking.
Nice.
I got in an argument with some libertarians today because I usually think of myself as a libertarian, man, but like, yo, the libertarians, they're not libertarians anymore. I don't.
Okay, Tom, let me.
Do tell.
There's a difference nowadays. There are proper libertarians with the capital L. Those are party libertarians, and then you have small L libertarians. They're chill. You're probably dealing with the big L party libertarians. They can be some uptight motherfuckers.
Oh, you're talking about the redneck libertarians?
No. Just once it becomes a party, it becomes tribalistic and based on tenets, and it loses its like libertarians are supposed to be about personal freedom. Right. So once they start banding together like the liberalists, you have reason to make fun of them at least, and possibly they're going to start losing their principles for party line towing.
Right.
Well, yeah, if you wind up getting too big, then it winds up being a rivalry or a battle between spheres of influence.
I don't know, like, because I was saying like that guy fucking with Gary Johnson's a fucking goof, right?
Yeah, he's mentally retarded.
Yeah, that's where I was like, he's a fucking goof. Like, why don't y'all put somebody up who's worth this shit? You know what I mean? So we can have somebody we can vote for. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. Cause like I remember, like, I was a Ron Paul guy. Yeah, I was a Ron Paul guy.
Get somebody like Michael Peruka again.
Yeah, Peruka ain't too bad either.
You know, like that's kind of where I was a Ron Paul guy back in the day. Like I can stand for all that. Like it's all positive. I'm behind all that. You know what I mean? And then like these guys here, like, oh, Donald Trump, man, you know, he's a totalitarian, fucking blah blah blah. And I was like, really? Like, really? I mean, because, like, I'm pretty sure he's dismantling the Department of Education. You know what I'm saying? He's dismantling the part of the fucking, the Housing and Urban Development Fund. And, I mean, he's trying to scale back fucking welfare. Like, this dude's doing all the stuff that you want done, but somehow he's a fucking totalitarian? Like, the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sounds kind of ass backwards.
Because it's not their party. It's somebody else, right? So they're just jumping the bandwagon for all the things that you could say about Trump. You could say, you can't see me air quoting, but because they want to win, and I get it, right? You can't make changes if you don't win, but at the same time, he's probably the best thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah, I mean, it shows like our system works, and I think a lot of people for a long time have like had that conspiracy theory hat on, going, "Oh man, the system's rigged," and done. Yo, fuck Rand Paul, like yo, that fucking John Pierce Polnareff guy. Yo, Rand Paul's a bitch, right? But fucking, you know, like yeah, like everybody's always said that fucking, you know, like the system's rigged and it doesn't work, and da. Like we just showed that it works. You know what I'm saying? We just showed that we can elect somebody who we want to have as president, regardless of what the fucking system thinks. You know what I mean? And, you know, we should all be really happy about the fact that our system actually does work and is not really rigged.
Well,
you know?
That was a wake-up call for sure, man. You know, and if they didn't get that shit, then that's on them, and they deserve not to be in office. And I say anybody that thinks, you know, I'm voting for anything but an I or an L, they can suck my dick.
Right.
No more party politics from my ass, man.
Yeah, that's why my whole thing has been just destroy the parties in general. You know, get rid of the fucking Democrats and everybody else. You know, fuck the whole 2-party, 4-party, 8-party monopoly nonsense.
Slow down a second. You don't need to get rid of your party system because you can vote for your president separate from your party. Right?
Correct.
You can vote for anybody who puts their name on the fucking ballot as president. I don't have that in my country. I have to vote for the party representative in my district. And the leader of the party that wins the most seats becomes the leader. And that's fucked up. You guys already have it right. You know, parties are okay. There's nothing wrong with them, right? Like, I mean, like, obviously there's drawbacks. The same way there's drawbacks to unions. But without unions, where the fuck would we be? You know what I mean? Right? So, like, there's pros and cons both ways. But, dude, it's basically free association. If they want to say we're part of the same party, We're like, remember being in grade school, right? We're a fucking package. When you fucking draft one of us to your fucking team, we both go, and then the other team gets 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
You could pull that shit. I'm associated with this guy. We're BFFs, and we're gonna play on the same soccer team because we won't play against each other. Fine, yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
But captains get picked individually.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to. I gotta can it for right now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if y'all want to move it, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, man.
Yeah, Scoob, you going to bed after this, or you Irving and everyone hanging around?
I'm awake.
And I'm probably gonna hang around for a little while here.
Okay.
You guys want to do an after hours?
Yo, I'm behind that ideology, man. Let's do an after hours.
I'll find a way to send you a link, man.
Hell yeah. You know what I mean?
All right. Yes, it's got a few miscellaneous things to do here, and then yeah, I should be all set for the night.
Send me a link, Irving. I'll hop on.
Absolutely.
all right, guys.
Yeah.
Send me one anyway, just in case.
All right, I messaged you.
All right,
man.
I'll send you one anyways.
That way you got my thing on Discord.
Beautiful.
All right, man. Thank you. Hey, man. Thanks, IRATE, for having me on, man.
Hey, no
Yo,
problem,
Scoob, as
dude.
always, it's nice talking to you. Next 6 minutes, it's nice seeing you again. Nice meeting you, Burnside and Irving.
Indeed.
You know what I'm
Good
saying?
to meet you, Tom.
You too,
Good to
man.
meet
Love
you,
that
dude.
fucking voice. Silky
Definitely,
smooth.
Tom.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow night, dude.
Definitely. Very
All right,
silky
partner.
smooth.
I'll
Silky
see y'all
smooth as
tomorrow night.
Zohan.
All right, this is IRATE Prostate on behalf of the rest of the Chaos 120. We're going to say that's it. It's another show in the bucket, and we'll see y'all next week. Later, taters.